Welcome back to Tiny Blue Games. My name's of course Csaw or Chris, and today we're talking about Final Fantasy XIV in 2021. Today we are continuing our journey through different events in Final Fantasy XIV. It seems like it's like bang, bang, bang these days, and I'm pretty excited still because this is a completely new event for me. It's the Final Fantasy XIV, Final Fantasy XV collab event. This is something I've been excited to do ever since I don't know whenever I got into one of those cool cars in game and sort of rode in the back seat and was like, I wish I had this. I was pretty much excited for this event. So I'm really happy it's back. I think it's super cool. And to give you a bit of a broad picture as to where we are, I've done the initial event and I'm working my way towards the mount. That's the short story here, but I want to share my thoughts on the event itself and my journey towards this mount. And as you can see from the title, any advice that you can offer would be greatly appreciated. I pretty much had not been in the gold saucer except for a few times in the 2 years I've played. I think I have a total of 50,000 MGP, so I've got a little bit of a climb to do, but we'll get more into that at the end of the video, but get your comments ready. As for the event itself, I thought it was really fun. It was a lot longer than I was expecting. I mean, I was kind of prepared for the normal length of the past few events, like the Moonfire Fair or the Rising, which, you know, I'd say 15 minutes for those events. This one was closer to 45 to an hour to do the whole thing, or at least it was for me. And it felt like kind of three parts, right? And I definitely enjoyed the lengthiness of it, and it pairs well with the fact that the events in game for a bit longer than the past two events as well. So you have the time to do it. I just wanted to get out there and get started because I want this mount. And it was actually a really cool thing to do that because I got to kind of be with the rush of people, which was infuriating in some points where I was trying to see what was going on and had to like use all these weird camera angles to even see things, but also kind of cool just to be part of a movement. I remember the first fate you do as part of the quest, just the amount of people waiting for the event was staggering. I mean, when playing this game, and I do play World of Warcraft from time to time, it's just shocking how full this game feels, how many people it feels like there's in this game. You know, from logging in and getting stuck with a login queue literally at any hour of the day to waiting for these events and just seeing so many people rush by. It really gives you that MMO feeling that I've been missing for a while, and I think it's the game that does this the most. Like, there's definitely other games where I feel it more than World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is probably on the lower end of the spectrum in terms of how full the game feels, just with how many different shards they have and all this jazz. But it just felt so nice. But yeah, so as for the event story itself, pretty self-explanatory. We kind of meet up with this reporter person who has heard of a mysterious new figure that has this cool car device. They don't know it's a car at the time, and we're gonna go check it out. And we do. So we meet, I believe it's Noctis, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong because obviously he's from a different game as well, and probably quite important. I'm going to call it Noctis, and you can just be upset if that's not how you say it. But Noctis is kind of driving through, and his car breaks down. And, well, there's two things here. The car breaks down, and he also has no idea how he got into our world, which you'd think he would be more concerned about the how he got into our world situation, but at the start, he's very concerned about the car, which I get, it's pretty cool. So we start things by finding a way to repair his car, and knowing that, you know, there are no cars really, we call on the one person who can fix anything, which is Sid, and any event that includes Sid in it is already up in terms of points, so that's great. Sid's gonna work on the car, and we're gonna help Noctis to figure out the rest of this, which is why he's in our world to begin with. And the overarching story here is that along with himself, it seems like some of the enemies from his world have started coming into our world as well. And that's kind of the main theme of most of the quests here. The first fate that I was talking about, we fight some, I believe it's called like some mechanical soldiers or something like that. But we also fight a demon at one point. And then finally we fight Garuda, but it's a different version of this feathery friend from his own game, and they kind of have their own dialogue throughout it, which is really cool. I think the Garuda fight was by far my favorite of the fights. I did enjoy the demon, and the fate Well, I'll be honest, the Fate was so busy I didn't even know I wasn't attacking the monster for quite a long time. So I'm just going to kind of write that one off. But the Garuda one was so nice because it was a, very personal encounter, and it gave you the extra action key, which was a lot of movement, and there was just a lot of things to do in the fight. I failed the duty on normal, which doesn't often happen while questing. So I had to go back in, and you're offered the option to go for easy or super easy or something like that. And I did normal again because I was like, now I got this. And I did end up getting it in normal, but it's a tough fight if you're not on your toes. You kind of have to always be ready for it. And granted, I'm not the best samurai yet, so there's some DPS uptime that could be corrected, but I thought it was a really fun fight, and probably one of my favorite parts of the initial event side of things. I also really enjoyed the moment we spend with Noctis. We kind of spend time with him fishing, we spend time with him camping and stuff like that, and just talking to him in different dialogue scenes. But I think the fight really with Garuda was the pinnacle, and that's ultimately how he does end up getting back. Garuda can go back to his world and offers him the option to go through the portal as well. And he kind of, talks about this during the fight and afterwards. He's like, fighting a god, you're one moment you're in combat with them, the next they're trying to help you. It's a really weird relationship, and we kind of share that. So we have that bonding moment there where we're like, yeah, we deal with primals all the time. We know what you're talking about. But yeah, so I thought it was really cool. You get this awesome outfit. I don't know if you've noticed from the footage yet. I might not have it until the very end, but I've got this sweet new dark kind of outfit. I look so like rugged and handsome. I look mysterious, and I love it. This is gonna be my like samurai outfit. I feel like it works really well with the samurai and just feels kind of like, maybe it'd work well with a ninja or something. But anyways, I like it a lot. I'm gonna keep it until I find something new. You know how I am with event outfits. I keep it until something new and shiny comes along. All this gets us to the final part of the event, which is actually past the event. This is the optional part, but for me is the most important part. How do you get this mount? Because they don't just give it to you throughout the quest. It would be too easy if that was the case. No, you got the outfit. You need to earn the mount. The mount is 200,000 MGP, as the title might tell you, and I need to learn how to make MGP fast. It's not that much of a concern. I still have quite a bit of time. This is why I wanted to jump in on the event right away. A lot of people in the Discord, in the Tiny Blue crew, have been telling me to be ready for this event if I want that car to get amped. It would have been smart to save up my MGP before this, but you know who I am. You know that's not the case. So we're making do. I think it's possible. I think it's more than possible. Especially if I win a cackpot. If I win a cool million, it would be pretty nice, but I'm not going to count on that. I'm going to have to make it. So I've tried pretty much everything in the Gold Saucer. I've got like a little bit of a list here. What did I try? What did I try? I did the mini cackpots, which I think are really fun. The kind of the scratch cards where you're trying to... I always go for the... And I don't know if I'm supposed to do this. I always try to get the mini jackpot thing of the 10,000 or whatever, because I got it the very first time and I was like, oh, this was pretty easy. And now I've been chasing it every time. Every time I see a 3 or a 2 or a 1, I always choose that row or column or whatever. And I'm starting to think maybe I should go for one of the lower amounts, and maybe I would get that more frequently instead of going for the 10,000 each time. But I've been chasing it, so you'll notice that I always go for that and often just end up getting like 70 points or something, which I bought some of the tickets for the big cackpot. From what I understand, like from reading the rules, you get like 1,000 points just for entering, and it's like 100 points to buy the ticket. So like it's worth just buying all 3 of them, right? Like I'm not confused by saying that. It makes sense to buy 3 tickets every week if you can. So that's what I did for this week anyways. It was a pretty low investment. So if it pays off at all, I'm pretty excited. I've never actually... I have bought a ticket for it before, but I definitely did not go back to check if I won, so it expired, which hopefully I didn't win anything big, and I'm not super disappointed to find that out. But yeah, it had expired, so I'm actually excited to go check my tickets. I don't know, I just kind of forgot about it. But this time, right when it's drawn, I'm going to be there. You watch. In terms of other things, I've done gates. I've done the gates before. I've often done the jumping puzzle gates, which they're jumping puzzles, so I have to be in the mood for them. This time, though, I did this really cool you kind of are in like a carnival ride of sorts, and you're shooting targets. And I had so much fun with this. Like, the number one thing, it shows off the scenery of the gold saucer. Like, it's such a cool area, and to make use of that whole area by being on kind of these railed carts, I think is so cool. Number two, I'm a lot better at shooting things with my mouse than I am at doing jumping puzzles with my keyboard. So I was pretty excited to do something I was reasonable at. I think it went pretty well. I did pretty well, so I just did it, and it was pretty good value in terms of time versus MGP earned. Otherwise, I did mini games. Not great at those, and they also don't give me a ton, but I did notice some of my logs, which I noticed there's a gold saucer section, required me to play them, and it did give me a fair bit of points doing that. So that kind of turned me to doing the logs and really looking in them to see what would earn me the most amount of MGP, which in turn brought me to Triple Triad, something that I had tried once a long time ago, was very confused, and kind of never returned. I sat down. Two things happened. Number one, someone on Discord gave me like the most detailed walkthrough of Triple Triad ever, and they've even offered to teach me in game, and I should really take them up on it. So if you're watching this, I should, because you're probably gonna watch these videos and be like, wait, why did you put that card there? Wait, why are you doing this? But I read through the notes, I sat down, I gave it a go, and I had a lot of fun. This is a really cool thing. I played a few games just against like the different NPCs out there, and then I wanted to try a tournament format. I didn't want to go into anything too serious right away, because also I had to wait like 30 minutes for the start. So I did I think it's the invitational one I did, which doesn't have prize pools, but does count for games for your log. So I gave it a go, and I think it went really well. I actually came in first a lot, and I had a lot of fun. It was, I don't know. I was like shouting at the screen by the end of it with some of the games, and like the entire last game, there was some plays against me where they would flip two cards at once, and I was like, holy cow. Yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of fun, and this is where I think the genius in this event is, because the event really has nothing to do with the gold saucer or any of the games there. The event was this whole other thing I did, but this one reward tied to MGP has made me explore this part of the game again and really fall in love with it. But yeah, I'm currently at, I think, 60-something thousand MGP, so I've been growing slowly since I've started trying again. But as I said at the start of this video, if you have any tips for how to make MGP fast, that are things I am actually probably able to figure out, I would greatly appreciate them, because I'm gonna get this car. It's all about, your mental attitude towards it. I'm gonna get it. It's gonna happen for me. I'm gonna get this car, and it's gonna be magical. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed this event as well. I think it's been one of my favorite events, and I know I just went on about how the Rising event was such a good event, but this one's been really enjoyable too, and it's been something that's quite fresh because I haven't done it before. So I think that was kind of a nice experience, whereas the other events I have kind of done similar things each year, and you're kind of looking forward to it, which is great. This was completely new and exciting. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.